فيديو اندلاع حريق كبير في مرفأ بيروت. لا عذراء يا عذراء البناية يا عذراء انفجار.
On August 4th, 2020, Beirut was devastated by the largest non-nuclear blast in history. Tragically, more than 200 people were killed in the explosion and over 6,500 were injured. In an instant, over 300,000 people were made homeless. Thousands of homes and businesses were destroyed beyond repair, national grain reserves were destroyed, and the damage to the port of Beirut caused delays in importing critical food and aid. For a country already struggling with economic and health crises, the blast took a heavy toll. As the Lebanese lira hyperinflated and became near worthless, banks restricted people's access to their savings. 2 out of every 5 people lost their jobs. Supplies of goods ran low, leaving empty shelves in grocery stores and pharmacies. In grocery stores across the country, people fought one another for access to food and medicine for their families. This ongoing catastrophe has taken a terrible spiritual toll, and people are losing hope. Suicides and domestic violence cases are rising as people see the situation worsening and no clear path to recovery. In just 1 year, things went from bad to the very worst. Now, the World Bank says that Lebanon's current situation could rank as one of the 3 worst crises globally in over 150 years. However, what Satan had meant for evil, God is using for good. In a time of desperate need, God has raised up Lebanon's local evangelical church as a vital source of help, hope, and refuge. Through Horizons International's Lebanon Crisis Fund, believers around the world have joined hands to invest in Lebanon's spiritual and practical future. New resources, training, and technology have enabled the church to transform more lives through the gospel, and the church has become a beacon of hope in the midst of this tragedy. Today, over 85 local evangelical churches have joined together in the Lebanon Crisis Fund. They serve their communities by distributing food to the needy, renovating damaged homes and churches, replacing appliances lost in the blast, and securing medicine for people who could no longer access their health providers. This practical help has allowed believers to form deep relationships with people in hard-hit communities, and has brought about a miraculous harvest of faith. In less than a year, over 350 people have accepted Jesus as Lord and Savior. 700 people have entered into regular discipleship relationships. Over 3,000 Bibles have been distributed, and more are being passed out every day. The work is just beginning. This gospel-centered initiative started as a short-term crisis response, but it is growing to focus on long-term recovery and development. The Middle East Center for World Missions has already started training over 40 local believers through internships in tech, design, media, and discipleship, and the Lebanon Crisis Fund will enable it to offer even more internships and launch missional businesses. The Lebanon Crisis Fund has also enabled Horizons to purchase our first piece of farmland, which will provide a base for a missional community, employment for local believers, and a sustainable food source for future aid work. God is moving mountains in Lebanon, and His work here impacts the church across the entire Middle East. Today we can stand with our brothers and sisters in the midst of chaos and darkness to help them spread the love of Jesus Christ like never before.